I would say in the beginning it was never about like building a very big business or building a venture capital business. It was all about like somehow paying the rent and being an entrepreneur and being free to decide whatever makes sense.
Asana Rebel.
Welcome to Rebel Radio. This is Danni Pomplun, Rebel Ambassador, and I'm coming at you today with episode 1 of our podcast. Today I have Pascal, who is the founder of Asana Rebel. He is a super awesome dude, super passionate about what we have going on, and without further ado, let's welcome him to the show. Pascal, how you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me and being here.
I mean, it kind of is your show, so you should be invited.
Yeah, that's nice.
So to give a little reference to the listeners out there, how did Asana Rebel come about?
I would say it's a longer journey. So right now it looks like, okay, Asana Rebel came out of nowhere. But I would say if I start from the beginning, I would have to start when Robin, my co-founder, and I met at university, like 2011, 2012, something. And we were lucky enough to work for a non-profit in Germany who was supporting entrepreneurship. So that was the reason why we got very interested with entrepreneurship. Then we thought, okay, that was kind of a tipping point in our life where we said, okay, let's do our own stuff. And I would say then the start of Asana Rebel was then 4 years later, but in between Robin and me, we did a lot of projects. At one point ended up having a yoga e-commerce shop for German-speaking countries, which was running quite well. And with the insights we got there, the customer insights, the next logical step for us was Asana Rebel then.
So when you guys started working together, did you think that it would become something this big? And when the vision became about, was it to do online content, or you guys just kind of started with one thing and then it just morphed into something bigger?
I would say for sure we had the feeling that there's a very good fit between us, that we kind of have different skill set and that we can kind of help each other out a lot of time and can have a very good working relationship. I would say in the beginning it was never about like building a very big business or building a venture capital business. It was all about like earning somehow money and somehow paying the rent and being an entrepreneur and being free to decide whatever makes sense.
Why yoga? I mean, out of all the different areas of, health and wellness that you guys could have gone to, what spoke to you guys about yoga?
I mean, I think that for us it was, as said, I think the health and fitness space is a very interesting space where we as founders can 100% identify with. I think with yoga, the topic was more coming from Robin's side because his family was very much into yoga. And we thought this could be an interesting space, especially if you look at the development of yoga over the last decades and how more and more important it has been for the people in their lives.
And something that I really like, and I know that's deep in the company, is that not only is yoga the backbone of it, but we're super passionate about really helping others and inspiring others and getting yoga to help people not only live a better life, but also share that practice. So I love that it came not only from you, but also from Robin's backside as well, that it was important to share that gift to others in the world. I mean, yeah, we do have to make money and call it a business, but in addition to that, like we're really just passionate about sharing this with everybody else. So I love that. Do you get to practice all the workouts on your own?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm trying to be just a normal user, and I try to use the app all the time. For sure, it's the same struggle every user has, or every person has that wants to live a healthy lifestyle. Some days are easier, and some days are harder, I would say.
Now, like speaking of using the app, you had to go and build this app and this platform, and you now have to create a structure. How and where are you at with all that right now?
I would say, I mean, as a company, we try to be very lean. So we try to be very focused on what is like the main use case of the app. And then we try to kind of develop the product with the customer, what means we just developed things what we thought would make sense. And then we kind of looked at the data, how people use the app and how is their behavior. And then we try to make assumptions how we can improve the product. And I think this was one of the main ingredients for the early success, being extremely close to the product, to the customer, and not being led by founder's opinion, more being led by observed behavior, which is represented in data.
What is the hardest thing about putting together a company like this? outside of having to listen to everybody else around there as well?
I mean, I think in the end, all companies are about the people working there and about the customers they are serving. And I think the most difficult part is to get the right people for the right tasks with the right skill set. And it's not about only like skills in terms of this person is good in mathematics or development. It's a lot about character and how people identify with the vision of the team, of the product, how people communicate. I think that's one of the most important things.
So it sounds like the culture being such a big backbone of the home office. What's a typical day like for you in the home office?
Our office in Berlin.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, interesting. When we talk about home office, we are talking about working remote from home. So,
I mean, I'll take that too.
Yeah.
Wake up, stay in bed, open up your laptop.
Yeah. I mean, the typical day in Berlin is our office is very central. So I bike to work, which is my first like healthy habit I implemented. Then I would say normally people start between 9 and 10 maybe, and the day is, I would say, very structured. So you have like a lot of meetings where you talk about different scenarios, different growth objectives you have, and in the end it's a lot about finding the right balance between being like structured enough but also having enough space for creativities and opportunities. So not on the one hand being still as fast as a startup with 3 people, but on the other hand having a little bit more of professional structures that make sure that you don't make like the very big mistakes.
I heard, and you know, I don't get to work with you guys in Berlin. I live in the U.S. And get to work with you guys digitally, but I hear sometimes there's planking in the office.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a big thing, I would say. So we are a health and fitness company, and I think a lot of people joined Asana Rebel because it's a health and fitness company, and they 100% can identify with the topic. And I would say over the last months, there are more and more sport offerings where people kind of organize different events, and one of these is at every time at 5 o'clock in the afternoon there's a plank challenge where we do different plank exercises, and then we have like a boss of the gym who's kind of then the one who is holding the plank the longest. Yeah.
So there's not only a plank competition, there's plank winners.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, at least a little bit to kind of push yourself to your limits.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's important if you're going to be part of a company that's preaching health and wellness to also live that and bring that into the culture. And, you know, obviously we encourage people in the office to breathe and live these workouts just as much as we do our ambassadors, and just as much as we do, you know, we listen to our entire community as, you know, as the Rebel Squad. We listen to everyone and really bring that into our day-to-day life. When you think about the structure and the way that the company is going, did you ever think that health and wellness would take you into well, I guess entrepreneurship would take you into health and wellness the way that you're doing and the way that you're scaling now?
Oh, difficult question. I think that for us it was more like a step-by-step thinking. So there was not this, from the beginning, this will be like 100 people company or $1 billion business or something. I think we always try to manage our way through the different challenges we had, and for sure, even if it's looking very successful from the outside, Asana Rebel, I can tell you that also there we have a lot of like challenges, and but I think we feel challenges more like, okay, that's an opportunity to grow, and we have to deal with it, and we are very, I would say, confident. Why should we not be the people or the company who's able to deal with it or who's able to crack that?
Do you ever sit back and just be like, wow, how did I get here?
No.
You just sit there and enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it's more like, I think that maybe that's an entrepreneurial thing, but if you would see it like as climbing a mountain, it's not like that you look back and you say, whoa, it's great where I'm already at. It's more like that you look up and you see, whoa, that's a huge challenge ahead of me. And mostly it's like with mountain climbing, you only see the next rock and you hope that this will be the end. But mostly it's just like the next step, and then you see, okay, there's so much journey ahead of us, which is positive and negative on both sides. So positive that it's always challenging, and you're always out of your comfort zone, and you're always doing things that you haven't done before. At one point you would wish, okay, you could also enjoy it, but maybe this will happen at some point in the future.
What do you think of the, I know as an adrenaline junkie and as a climber too, I'm always like, yeah, I'll be happy when I get there. And then I'm like, nah, I want to keep going. I want to keep going. What do you, where would you ideally love to see like the company be in 5 years? And not necessarily just in like the business sense, but like the impact that we have on people.
I would say, and I think that's also direction we are moving with the product, a healthy lifestyle means something different for everyone. And everyone is starting at a different standpoint. And we believe that it's very hard to push people to do something, especially if you look at long-term benefits and long-term motivation. So we want to develop more and more into an app which is more or less your daily companion for your healthy lifestyle. So we want to be your source of inspiration and education about healthy lifestyle. For sure, yoga-inspired fitness workouts as a core, but also all the topics around that. And I think that I don't see any company in this health and fitness space that has kind of managed this long-term retention and motivation thing. And I believe that Asana Rebel is in a very good position to be the first company to do that. And I think if we achieve that, to kind of not being this product that is kind of pushing you to a 12 weeks plan for a six-pack, but instead being like the company who is motivating you to spend your lunch break walking instead of like sitting. I think this can have a very huge impact on a lot of people who were still trying to live a healthy lifestyle but never made it because they were always pushed in something what was too far away or what was too different to their way of life, I would say.
And I think too, like, there's always that quick fix. There's always like the 6 days to six packs, or lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks. And that's just like a short-term, that's a short-term goal. That's not something that's going to be sustainable and healthy for a long time. And I agree with you, what you say. There is a lot of like fitness-based apps that are just, let's work out and let's do this. And I think that the way that holistically, if you look at Asana Rebel, we're not just doing fitness apps or fitness-based workouts, but we're also starting to integrate the mind-body connection. There's that, let's look at what you're eating. Let's look at the way that you're treating yourself. Let's look at the way that you're keeping yourself accountable. And then for the listeners out there, we have a couple really cool things that are going to be happening within the app coming out soon. I can't give you all the details, but some really cool things to help you connect to yourself, not just physically, but also other areas of health and wellness. Where did Asana Rebel come from? Like, who's the rebel and who was doing all the asanas? What I want to know.
Yeah, I would say also this is a very interesting story. So, as I said, we had this e-commerce business which was called Asana Yoga before, which was an e-commerce yoga business in Germany, and then we thought, okay. And we also experimented a lot with different areas on this e-commerce website. So we tried to sell yoga retreats or to connect like our users with yoga retreat offerings. We did our first like online course which we sold, and then we thought, okay, if we're now doing a yoga app again with the same name, it's kind of what the hell are these guys doing? So we thought about, how should the name look like, which is on the one hand still connected to yoga, but on the other hand, like somehow showing our DNA of challenging the status quo and kind of just not doing things like they have ever been done because that's like it is, just like asking why this is the case and trying to find our own way. And I think this is nicely represented in Asana Rebel in the end. But it was kind of also a journey, discussion, whatever.
I like that the word rebel is in there because it also is like, it pushes the norm. It's not just like the same old standard, old school linear way of moving. And, when you look at our workouts, there is all sorts of like plyometrics. There is all sorts of primal movements. There is all moving on 4 planes. There is joint and muscle activations. It's not just like, here's Warrior 2, and that's all we do in Warrior 2 the way it's been taught for so long. We've really pushed, well, from what I've seen, and I know that I do these workouts daily, but we've pushed boundaries on really finding strength.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, also this, the official app name is Asana Rebel, Yoga Inspired Fitness, also kind of mixing yoga and fitness, I think was also a statement for the rebel in our name. So also here we said, okay, how we see it is that for a lot of people the yoga topic is extremely interesting and inspiring, but a lot of people don't know where to start. So they start because of a specific pain point they have, maybe back pain or something. And for a lot of people, the barrier to then say, okay, what's the right yoga style for me with back pain is one barrier too much. And we thought, okay, we are mixing elements from yoga and fitness, and we are kind of concentrating on the function or on the solution. What means you can get from us yoga to solve your back pain, and it's not about gurus or yoga styles.
What do you think the users that come to Asana Rebel, why do you think they're attracted to Asana Rebel? Like, why do you think they come to our app? Why do you think that they come and hang out with us and stick with us as long as they do?
I think that one is the rebel for sure. So I think all of our users are rebels somehow, though they want to do something different. They want to challenge the status quo. Second point is that I think they feel attracted by the very inspiring and high quality content we are able to offer. And the third thing is that even if this kind of the first 2 points are some good reasons to join Asana Rebel, I think that the third one is that we deliver within the product, that people want to stay there and they enjoy the workouts and they enjoy the experience.
Have you ever done one of the workouts in a weird place outside of home in a studio?
Yes, I did. I mean, I did it in a studio.
The weirdest place you've ever had to do one of our workouts?
I would say it's not so weird, but I mean, I think if you go into gym or into CrossFit or something, and you just feel, okay, that's normally not the place where I would do like where I would use an app to do a workout, because all over the place are instructors, etc. But at some point it feels like the best way to do like a 5-minute stretch or something, and you're looking for someone guiding you.
All the business stuff aside, what is your absolute right now, currently in your body? What's your favorite type of movement on the app that you've been working on, or that you just love, or that you keep going back to? Like, what's your favorite right now?
I think for me, like, the plank is the best position. So it's kind of like...
You hear this, right? He's the one that's starting all the planking.
Yeah. It's about like you have all body muscle types involved. It's a very easy exercise you can do everywhere. You see progress if you hold it, like if you train and if you work out. So I would say that's my favorite exercise.
And for our listeners, what can you tell them to be excited about? I know we have some really cool stuff coming up in the app. Can you give us any hints? Mainly, I'm getting permission because I can't say it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think that we can talk about all the stuff that is coming. I would say that in general, we developed into a very how do I say it? I mean, we are creating new content all day long. What means that we are now, as a company, in a stage where we are able to implement processes where we can deliver new content every day. And I think that's the most exciting part, that we are able to create very inspiring content, that we are able to kind of to see how this content is used, and that we are able to kind of, again, as in the beginning, very close to the customer, develop new content formats that will kind of have a very positive impact on their lives.
So you guys should expect to see a whole lot more content coming out very, 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 very soon.
Yeah, That's it.
Awesome. Pascal, it's been so great to have you on the show, and it's so great to be able to chat and meet. And, for those of you listening in, if you haven't checked out some of our latest workouts, you got to check them out. We've got some really cool things happening. Pascal, thank you so much again for your time today. And for the Rebel Squad out there, stay tuned. We will catch you on the next episode. Peace out.
Thank you.
Asana Rebel.